Greetings. So ideally, you have done the twist and turn video that I've made, and that preps you for where we're going next. We're going to explore side crow. Yes, we are. We're going to explore side crow. You want to be warm for this, and a lot of that warmth happens in the standing twisting postures, okay? So be sure that you've done some sun salutations, you've done some standing work, and now we'll go in and look at the dynamics of side crow. Ready? So let's begin lying on the back. And let's just draw the knees into the chest, give yourself a hug. Letting the body settle a little bit. If you take your arms away, can you still keep the thighs in close to the rib cage? You feel that action there? You might even notice that your tailbone lifts off a little bit. But this business of being in close, we want to be able to maintain that sense down the road. From here, with your shoulder blades down, can you bring your knees over to your left? Stay in really close as you can. Then we'll inhale, come back up, and now we'll go to the right. Also, hugging in close. Inhale, come back up. Exhale to the left. Turn your head to the right. Inhale, back up. Exhale. Thighs as close to the rib cage as they can be. And we'll go back and forth a few times. You can feel both arms ideally are down. That may not be the case for you. You may be finding that one shoulder blade is lifting off. We do the best we can and we progress slowly toward the posture. There's always a place to go. That's the good news with yoga. So listen, come back up. Now we'll take the right leg long. Same idea, heading over to the left. Don't touch the legs down completely. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, right knee bends, left leg extends. Over we go. Tight little package, that's the idea. Inhale, back up. Inhale. Switch and exhale. Good. Come back up. Let's give ourselves a rest here. Happy baby. Good. Then cross your ankles, rolling. Take the hands to the floor. Lift the hips up and shift your legs back to plank pose. Now, either knees to the floor. We're going to make a determination about what's going to work best for us. Knees to the floor, right knee to left elbow. Or we're in plank and we're keeping the pelvis level, right knee to left elbow. And we'll just go back and forth here a few times. Watching what happens. It's okay if your pelvis shifts off a little bit. Try to keep the weight even between the hands. Good, and then release. Toes tuck under. Set your hips over your heels. Pause and open up the soles of the feet. All right, so with side crow, we are going to need to have the sensation of drawing the pelvic floor upward and staying in really close with the thighs. From here, before we go there, because we're also going to have to twist, and we're going to need to be pushing the feet out into space as opposed to having the ground. So as a preliminary for that, let's take the hands to the ground. Downward dog. Pelvis up and back. Right leg up. Go ahead, stack the hips. Reach through the heels. Then draw the thigh in close and cross. Bring your right foot to the outside of the left hand and pivot the sole of your left foot down. Lift the hips up, slide the shoulder blades down, and grow this from the sole of your left foot. Opening. This just gives us a chance to open. Use the floor here. Twisting. Legs can be open any amount. The wider, the better. And then open up the throat. Feel the shoulder blades retract, moving in toward each other. Then hand down and right leg back. Downward dog. Good. This is a laboratory. Let's see what happens now. Take the left leg up, stack. Notice that the shoulders stayed level. Then thigh to rib cage. Come in as close as you can. Foot lands on the outside. Pivot your right heel. Push the ground away. And begin to open. Extending out, and at the same time that you extend out through all the limbs, you're drawing into midline. That means you're pulling as if you're sucking from the floor. Draw inward and outward simultaneously. Inhale, exhale, right hand lands. Back to downward dog. And then back down onto the shins. Okay, so far so good. So let's take a look at a couple of things. If you fold over your thighs, can you come back up, turn palms in prayer position, fold over to the outside of the right thigh. Now you remember in the video called Twists and Turns, we talked a lot about left kidney toward inner right knee. See if you can find that right now. So the inner right knee also, it's really subtle, but they both move toward each other. And there's a little bit of rounding here. So it's not so much that we want to keep a mountain spine. We actually do want to really twist in as if we're wringing out the organs. Then inhale, come back up. And exhale, find right kidney, inner left knee, then cross. Good. Draw your sternum downward a little bit. And move, if you can move your liver toward your spleen, that would be helpful. So right side of inner torso toward left side of inner torso. And draw the shoulders away from the ears. Okay, slowly come back up. Now tuck toes under. And come up. So we're going to balance on balls of our feet. Some of you might find the block helpful. Chances are that if you're finding the block helpful here, it may not be totally time for crow. However, see if that's true for you. So first we balance. We're going to set the gaze. So this part's very important. The gaze is like another leg or hand. So when my hands are down and I'm looking out, I'm imagining I'm extending a line from my eyes to the floor. And that line that I've chosen, that point I've chosen on the floor, is actually helping to support the whole posture, because we're going to be making like a triangle or a pyramid. Okay, so first, let's take the hands now to the right. You might move the block out of the way. See if you can bring left kidney to right knee, turn, twist. Can the hands come to the floor equally, evenly? That's the first question. If not, then we know that the work to be done is to work on this twist. Then look down at the floor first. Good. And then look out in front of you. So where I'm going to choose to look is out at a diagonal right out there, because that is going to counter where my legs are going to go. Now for our purposes, I'm going to set the right hip down on the right elbow. This is a nice way to build up to this posture. Then I set the gaze, and the gaze, that point, I can feel that point is helping to support the extension through the top of the head, back into the tailbone, and then out through the balls of the feet. Come back. Rest up onto the balls of the feet. And maybe roll the wrists. Okay, wrist health, it really matters. Take good care of the hands. You want to be sure that you've spread the fingers really, really wide. And you grip the floor a little bit like a crow would if a crow was doing side crow. All right, ready? So now right kidney toward inner left knee, cross, set your gaze, turn, twist. Good, then hands to the floor. They're in alignment, index fingers forward, setting my gaze out in front, left hip to left elbow. Now I'm reaching with my left ear. See my sternocleidomastoid, the muscle on the side of the neck? It's extending. That's actually what's helping me lift. Gaze is steady. If I were to turn my face to the floor, well, I don't recommend that approach, because you could land on your face. And that would be very sad. Would never want to land on the face, okay? If you're learning side crow, having a pillow under your head, it's really nice just for the mind to rest. Okay, so we came back up. So let's look at building this further. Good, bring the knees to the floor for a moment. So where it can go next is we'll go back to side crow. Now, we've got to think about the gaze, the top of the head, the sit bones, and the feet. This time the legs are going to straighten, but they're going to straighten away from each other. So it's like we're making a sail on a boat, and our breath, our subtle breath, is keeping the wind in the sail so that the sail stays really broad in all directions. Follow? Here we go. Cross. Okay. Left kidney, all the way over to inner right knee. Set. Find your ear, right ear extends you off, gaze is steady. Feet come off, fingertips engage, left leg lifts. Now I point my toes, which means somewhere between point and flex, and then extend through the legs. Reach through the legs. Now remember the sail. Grow the sail from the balls of the feet through the top of the head. And then slowly return. Okay, pause, come into a squat, rest the breath. So one thing to watch with the arm balances is, one, it does involve some core engagement. Finding your core first before you go trying all the arm balances is really rather essential. Two, when we get nervous, we start jumping into these postures. Never good. Never good, right? For any reaction, any action, there's a reaction. So you jump, and where are you gonna go? You're gonna head probably onto your head. So we go slowly, yeah? And we're really curious, and we've got ears all over our body. So we cross, find right kidney, inner left knee, hands down, crow fingers. Land the hip if you wish. If you've been practicing this for a long time, that left hip doesn't need to land. It can float, come off, find the balls of your feet, separate your toes, and then push the air. Reach through your left ear. Grow the sail. And then slowly we return. Okay, soles of the feet together. Knees go wide. Fingertips to the floor. Slowly fold forward. Allowing the breath to settle. I've found arm balances to be very empowering for my practice. We go slow. And we learn to use the whole body. So it's not, even though they're called arm balances, we're using the whole body. Good. Slowly we come back up. Soles of the feet together. Thighs press in. Hands come around. Now this time we could try to come down really close like we were doing when we were lying back. So we've got the thigh right up against the armpit. This right arm is floating out here. We come up and we come off. And maybe we straighten the legs. Right elbow is not holding the hip. Catch that? Okay, so that's, that's where we go in time. It's nice to have the support. And then once you're used to the support, knowing when to go to the next step is so important. And knowing when the next step isn't appropriate is so important. It's called telling the truth. We care about telling the truth in this practice quite a bit. So come back up onto the balls of the feet. Turning. Kidney to knee. Hands down. Okay, left elbow's free. We come up. And we come up. Fingertips grasp. We might straighten. And that's out. So good work. Good work to you. I think it's so valuable to challenge ourselves every single day. Let's lie back. Go slowly. This is good work for our crow. Happy baby. This will help release the wrists. So create a little resistance. The feet push away. Push away from the body. Pull the feet. Push. Just create a little space in the wrists. And then bring the soles of the feet together. Interlace the fingers. And draw the feet over the sternum. Butterfly the legs open. And we breathe. Good. And then we take the legs straight up and the arms out to the sides. So this is crow, isn't it? Side crow. We go ahead and lower the legs slowly to the left. Keep the shoulder blades down on the ground. Now extend through the balls of the feet like mad, releasing downward. Push through your right heel. Maybe hold the feet. And then to come up, maybe right leg first, then left leg. That's not as hard on the lower back. Inhaling, exhale. Same thing. If you want to go lighter, go right leg first, then left. Or slowly extending, drawing out through your sit bones. You can see how all these shapes are related. So many of them are the same shape, but just done in different planes with gravity, different relationship with gravity. So find your side crow here. Then inhale, left leg, right leg. Good. Soles of the feet together. Knees go wide. Arms, draw the blades down, palms up. Close the body. Oh, I should say close the eyes. Cheekbones move away from each other. In fact, the features on the face, they move away from the midline. Just allow everything to soften and relax. Some of you might want to straighten your legs coming into Shavasana here. One of the reasons challenging postures can be so good is that a lot of times we come up against these ideas of what we can and cannot do. And they dictate what we can and cannot do, whether we're aware of it or not. So we might just look around in our lives for a moment at areas where we've said, no, that's not for me, I can't. And the question then would be, is that true? Is this true, this thought that I have that I can't? Where did it come from? And can I be open to exploring the possibility that this may just be a story I've been telling? We have so much potential. And we open just a little bit to all that potential. And let's bring one knee at a time into the chest, appreciating our efforts, wrapping the arms around the legs, and appreciating this body, our most precious possession and tool, isn't it? We send one arm over the head, relaxing the head down on the arm and pausing. So anything we've gained from this practice, we pass it on immediately, especially to those that are suffering in any way. May we all be happy and healthy and at peace. And we rise up. A long spine, palms join, closing with one Om. We inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Om. Bring the hands to the forehead, right thought, may we be steady, may we be present, may we be joyful. The hands come to the mouth, right speech, may our words improve upon the silence. Our hands come to our heart, right action, may we be the change that we wish to see. Namaste.